Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including Ford losing another advantage to Tesla, Giga Berlin production ramping, Cybertruck leaks, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, some updates for the FSD Beta. A few weeks ago, we heard Tesla was going through another NHTSA recall, this time for their full self-driving beta. The official summary said the system may allow the vehicle to act unsafe around intersections, and noted a lot of issues we've been hearing about for a while, including rolling stops and exceeding speed limits. The answer to this recall is a software update, as is typically the case for Tesla. Seeing as they've been working on fixing these issues for a long time though, it's going to be a much heftier update than we've seen with Tesla recalls in the past, like the pinching windows that were basically fixed overnight with a software update. While they're working on that fix, we've seen Tesla change their FSD language online. They've changed how they describe the system in a new support page. It starts by saying the over-the-air update will be deployed when the software is available, which basically means that users will be without the FSD beta they paid for indefinitely. What has users most frustrated though is the way Tesla calls the FSD beta a level 2 driver assistance system. They specifically say the driver is responsible for operation of the vehicle whenever the feature is engaged and must constantly supervise the feature and intervene as needed to maintain safe operation of the vehicle. This has always been how Tesla has defined the beta, but some are interpreting this to mean that the beta will always be a level 2 driver assist system. In my opinion, that might be the case at least for a very long time as they collect data to improve this system over time and eventually get to level 4 or level 5 self-driving. In the words of MKBHD, never ever buy a tech product based on the promise of future software updates. Tesla appears further along than most with this kind of system, but I've always taken issue with them charging money for this system with such an unbelievably unclear timeline and dozens of missed deadlines. Now at the same time, Tesla is reportedly being sued by shareholders over the terminology they have used. According to Reuters, in a proposed class action filed in San Francisco federal court, shareholders said Tesla defrauded them over 4 years with false and misleading statements that concealed how its technologies, suspected as a possible cause of multiple fatal crashes, created a serious risk of accident and injury. They also note Tesla's share price falling due to this recall and even before then. It's currently at about half its peak value from November 2021. This is unfortunate to hear and we'll have to see how it develops. Tesla has always been pretty open about their beta being a level 2 driver assist feature, but they have been running with its somewhat misleading name. Next up today, we've had a lot of new Cybertruck sightings lately as Tesla prepares to release that truck this year. They showed it off at the unveiling event for their new engineering headquarters, and we saw an example of how high its suspension can go. We also got a few video walkarounds of a prototype with the original large side mirrors and no windshield wiper, and Elon Musk posted one himself. There was also a video posted online of it driving around, again demonstrating that high suspension. Sightings are ramping up, and we're only going to be seeing more and more of this instantly recognizable truck. Now, of course, we've seen another leak, this time with the black tonneau cover. What's Inside posted a video, and the glass roof as well as that darker cover are clearly visible from an aerial view. Elon has mentioned that this truck would be shipping with an option to have solar cells, and Tesla has filed for a patent for them to be in the tonneau cover, but I doubt this is at all what we're seeing with this overhead shot. Tesla is working on getting the Cybertruck to production, so it's unlikely that they're also working on a system that would only add 15 miles of range per day. Maybe eventually, but for now, this overhead view of the Cybertruck is showing what it would look like in its most aerodynamic form. From a distance, it looks pretty well put together, and the cover operates exactly how it should. It's pretty cool to see a near production ready prototype driving around and spotted from overhead. I'll keep you posted if and when we see more. In addition to these new sightings though, Tesla has applied for a new patent for the Cybertruck's ultra-hard cold-worked steel alloy. From the beginning, Tesla has said the Cybertruck would be built with an exterior shell made for ultimate durability and passenger protection. Starting with a nearly impenetrable exoskeleton, every component is designed for superior strength and endurance, from ultra-hard 300 series cold-rolled stainless steel structural skin to Tesla armor glass. They demoed both the exoskeleton and armored glass at the Avail event back in 2019, but that prototype was definitely a work in progress. In this new patent though, Tesla says the exterior panels of the vehicle also contribute to the vehicle's structural performance, wherein such exterior paneling of a vehicle may be referred to as an exoskeleton. They go on to say that the exoskeleton's corrosion resistance allows for the exterior panel of the vehicle to be utilized without application of an anti-corrosion coating or corrosion protection agent. They also claim that it outperforms other alloys. This definitely sounds like it'll be used on the Cybertruck, and in response to the patent being posted on Twitter, Elon confirmed it by saying new metal. While this is very exciting to see because it means Tesla will actually be delivering this feature that makes the Cybertruck so unique, it will likely also be reflected in the end price tag. Hopefully a new metal brings great features as promised and can ultimately bring down cost, but we're still a bit worried about the price the Cybertruck will launch at later this year. Though we're not sure who will be producing the new alloy, Tesla plans to produce the Cybertruck at Giga Texas. Not too far from there is the new $1.7 billion factory from Steel Dynamics, and it's been rumored that they may be a Tesla partner. Next up today, Tesla's dominance in the EV space has been underestimated for a while. Many still think that legacy automakers will swoop in and steal Tesla's entire market once they release EVs, but we're regularly seeing demonstration of how much Tesla leads. Recently, we saw details and reports of how much Tesla dominates when it comes to profit on their EVs. They're profiting more on their EVs than other companies are for their entire lineups. On top of this, we now know for sure that neither Ford or GM are profitable at all on their EVs right now. GM plans to achieve this by 2025, and Ford plans to achieve this by 2026 when they introduce their second generation EVs. On the consumer side though, this might not faze people. Long term, this could be seen as a sign that in 3 or 4 years, Tesla will have profitable legacy competitors to drive them out of business. However, many new reports are showing how, contrary to popular belief, Tesla's overall hold up well and keep consumers happy. Reports in January detailed the fact that Tesla has the lowest one-and-done rate amongst car buyers. Quote, their ability to keep these new customers is extraordinary. Tesla's one-and-done rate is just 39% compared to 58% for the industry. Overall, Tesla is better than anyone at stealing customers, which isn't too surprising as a new company, but once a customer goes for a Tesla, they tend to stay with the brand. As far as electric vehicles go as well, Consumer Reports found that Tesla and Nissan make the most reliable EVs. What we're somewhat seeing now is that since EVs at scale are such a new thing, consumers somewhat see Tesla as the legacy automaker in this space. They have been shipping electric vehicles since 2012 and shipping them at scale regularly since around 2018 or so with the introduction of the Model 3. Now with the Model Y, they've shipped well over 3 million EVs and counting. That was their number in August of 2022, so they may well have reached over 4 million by now. This comes at the same time that competitors are still announcing concept EVs, testing them, starting deliveries, and facing recalls. Right now, for instance, Ford has paused F-150 Lightning production to fix a potential battery issue. So while it's exciting to see Ford making a great electric truck and beating Tesla to the punch there, many might see that Ford has only really been making EVs for less than 3 years, with the Mach-E being their first true EV to scale. Tesla, on the other hand, has been working with EVs for much longer. In the EV space, when considering scale, Tesla really is the legacy automaker. We're consistently seeing them take certain awards and accolades from other automakers, and now they've done it again. Tesla has won an award for consumer loyalty, beating out one of their largest competitors. S&P Global Mobility's Automotive Loyalty Awards has named Tesla #1 in overall loyalty to make, with a make loyalty rate of 67.2%. The last winner of that category was Ford, who held the title for the last 9 years. For 9 years, Ford has had that award locked down, and now Tesla is managing to win it, showing just how loyal customers are to their brand. The award was determined from data collected from 11.7 million new retail vehicle registrations in the US during 2022. According to S&P, loyalty is determined when a household that owns a new vehicle returns to market and acquires another new vehicle of the same make, model, or manufacturer. This is another exciting win for Tesla and shows they're definitely holding their own against their largest competitors. They also took the award for ethnic market loyalty to make, most improved make loyalty, highest conquest percentage, alternative powertrain loyalty to make, luxury small utility with the Model Y, and luxury small car with the Model 3. Those are all great awards, but overall loyalty to make is most notable. Customers like Tesla and stick with them more than any other brand making any type of vehicle. They do have more experience than any other company when it comes specifically to electric vehicles, so this could very well be at play in a big way. Gas cars are one thing, but with electric cars at true scale, Tesla is the legacy automaker. Toyota has also recently confirmed this by tearing down a Model Y. Toyota seems to finally be getting the hint that EVs will be a big part of any automaker's future, and now they're diving further into their efforts by tearing down a Model Y. According to the report, in response to the teardown, a Toyota executive said, "Taking the skin off the Model Y, it was truly a work of art. It's unbelievable." They seem impressed by the simplicity of Tesla's architecture and engineering, which is something Sandy Munro has been praising for a long time. Hearing that said about Tesla from Toyota may be very shocking for a lot of people. Regarding scale over in Germany, Tesla has hit a new production milestone at Giga Berlin. Elon Musk said in October of 2021 that their production rate to reach was 5,000 to 10,000 cars per week. Then a year later, they posted that they had reached a rate of 2,000 cars per week, and in December, they reached a production rate of 3,000 a week. Now it appears they are still successfully ramping up production there, and Tesla Europe posted 4K Model Y built at Giga Berlin this week. Congrats to the Tesla team. They included a photo, and if you do the math, that's an annual production rate of over 200,000 vehicles already, which is impressive. It's only February, and they're already well on their way of achieving their first phase goal. There have been delays at that factory as well as Giga Texas, but things are continuing to progress as planned. Elon had mentioned that they had also planned to produce 4680 cells there as well, but we learned recently that they would be shifting those efforts over to the US. That's very likely due to the new battery regulations and EV tax incentives set to take place in March. Eventually, though, they're going to have to focus on ramping battery production there to keep up with vehicle production. Tesla lists Giga Berlin's current capacity at 250,000 cars per year, and ultimately, their goal is to reach an annual production rate of 1 million cars. If they can maintain the growth we've been seeing, I definitely won't be surprised if we see that come to fruition. Over in Mexico, new reports again say that Tesla is about to announce a factory there, but I'll wait to report further until we get confirmation from Tesla. We've heard reports of Tesla being on the cusp of announcing a factory there for a long time now. Next up today, two recent changes have occurred with vehicle pricing, and they are illustrating what a future of EV affordability will look like. The ultimate goal of electric vehicles is that they are affordable, but as we've been through many price increases of electric vehicles lately across the board, some tend to lose faith or forget how technology advances and gets cheaper with scale. Well, today a Tesla Model 3 standard range starts at $42,990. Oftentimes people neglect this vehicle since it's standard range, but that standard range is still an impressive 272 miles EPA. I just reviewed the Genesis GV60 and it gets a range of 248 miles EPA. So the standard range Model 3 is very competitive, and when comparing that vehicle's price to the average transaction price for a new car in the US, we're seeing that it's actually pretty affordable. Oftentimes, reports like this involve a tax credit or local incentive bringing down an EV's price. But for January, the average transaction price for a new car in the US was $49,388. This is actually down 0.6% from December, but comparing that to Tesla's most affordable vehicle prior to any tax incentives, we're finding that a great electric car is actually a reasonably priced option for the average US buyer. We can also see that even the Model Y is sitting just about $5,000 above this, so a future standard range Model Y, hopefully with a dropped price, could end up being cheaper than the average car sold in the US. Tesla is keenly aware of the average price of a car sold in the US, and has for a while now adapted their pricing directly based on this number. In fact, data previously showed that Tesla's cheapest car often sat just $300 away from this cost. This time though, their production is ramping, there are tax credits available, and they may be on the cusp of updating the Model 3, so they're sitting well below this average price of $50,000 for the US market. It's a small update, but it shows that electric cars won't be well above the average forever, and that even today they are becoming more affordable before the introduction of cheaper options. Tesla is expected to give us some details about their Generation 3 platform, which should bring a future $25,000 EV at Investor Day, so we'll have to see what that brings and how long they expect it to take. That should be the real change that takes these cars from being in a position where the average person can buy the cheapest Model 3 to something where anybody can choose from many different electric offerings. Last up today, some updates about other automakers. The Chevy Blazer EV, announced back in July, is scheduled for release later this year, and now we're starting to see it out in the wild, presumably in its production paint. A Reddit user posted this photo saying, "Saw some new and upcoming EVs over the weekend: Chevy Blazer, Nissan Ariya, Chevy Silverado." This model appears to be the 2LT trim and looks remarkably like the concept model. This trim will be one of the first to go on sale along with the RS this summer. This trim starts at $47,595 and has a GM estimated range of up to 293 miles. The Chevy Silverado EV, available in fall of this year, was also spotted at this charging station. That one is estimated to start at $39,900, and GM claims it has up to a 400-mile range. Over at Nissan, they have finally decided to ramp up their efforts on EVs. Nissan established an early lead in EVs with the Leaf in 2011, but now is falling behind other fully electric vehicles. They plan to release the Ariya crossover SUV soon, but we've seen a number of delays there. Now they've announced their increased efforts, and they're big. They plan to release 27 new electrified models, 19 of which will be new EVs by 2030. They are also estimating higher EV sales volumes in key markets by 2026 as well. 98% in Europe, 58% in Japan, 35% in China, and 40% in the US. One thing I think Nissan may find is that just releasing one solid EV first and scaling it might be a smart move rather than making 19 different ones by 2030, but we'll have to see. Over at Kia, the upcoming EV9 was spotted out testing on the road. The EV9 has been shown in a concept stage, and many are very excited as it's a true electric SUV. It has 3 rows of seating, and when it comes, will only really be competing with the Rivian R1S. As for the interior, I imagine we'll see drastic changes from the original concept, but when spotted driving on the road, the exterior of the car looked remarkably similar to the concept. It's a poor quality video, but the car looks nearly identical to the original prototype. Electric points out that there are traditional side mirrors and slight changes to the front and rear end, but overall, this car is nearly identical to the concept we've seen. It's always disappointing when a concept is really cool and the production version is nothing like it, so I really hope that that comes true and that we see it delivering later this year as promised. Tesla's Investor Day event is about to happen, or may have just happened depending on when you're watching this. We're expecting anything from Tesla simply laying out plans of scaling, to Tesla announcing the new Model 3, Hardware 4.0 sensor suite, and revealing the $25,000 Tesla. We'll see what all happens here, and I'll be sure to keep you posted on that in my next video. In the meantime, if you want to see my full review of the new Genesis GV60, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.